Hello my friend, welcome back to my channel Tracking Ed. It has been a long time since I've sat down and done a travel talking video, so I'm so excited to finally be sitting down in a chair with a new camera in a new place and ready to talk about some things I love and things that I've been doing. If you're not already a subscriber to my channel, I would love if you subscribe down below. I'm really passionate about travel and lifestyle and helping you go on new adventures and giving you knowledge to do that. So if you want to join the Tracking Ed family, please click subscribe down below. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I have been consumed by in 2019, and that is my journey as a tour guide. So many of you would know that I have been working for a company called Bussabout in Europe last year, leading people around the continent with all different types of tours. I actually posted a video when I officially became a tour guide. I'll link it down below, as well as what my training trip looked like, what a day in my life looked like. So if you're interested in what I've been doing, definitely check those out. But today's a little bit different. I want to talk about all the pros and cons, my highlights and lowlights, whatever you want to call them, from entering into this career, as you might call it. It has been an absolute whirlwind. I have loved every minute, but there's no doubt it's been exhausting, and there's no doubt that what it appears to be is very different from what it actually is. Being a tour guide, yes, you are traveling every single day, and that's amazing, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot more to that as well. And I've kind of spent a little while like reflecting on how my experience was and all the good things and bad things. So I'm going to share some of those with you today, whether you're just interested in what I've been doing or whether you yourself are looking to become a guide as well. I definitely keep watching this video. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the highlights, of course, because there are so many. And first off, it's all about the people. Now, when you're a guide, you are constantly interacting with new people, with other guides, with your managers, with suppliers, and they're all incredible. It is a job for a people person. You cannot be too big of an introvert to do this, because you are constantly interacting with other different types of people from many different cultures and places as well. And I love that variety. Some of the people that I've been able to lead have become my closest friends. Some of the other guides I've just grown so close to as well. So it's all about who you're working with, who you are working for, and growing your friendships and relationships with them. The other great thing about having these people on your tours is that they've paid to be there, and because they've paid to be there, you want to do your best in showing them around the places that you love and teaching them about those cultures, helping them to learn about amazing cities and environments, and imparting that knowledge and helping them to experience it the best way possible is such a rewarding thing to do. Another highlight for me working as a tour guide was not only to have a hell of a lot of fun along the way, but also to grow professionally. There are so many things that happen in the background that you don't see, even if you yourself has been on a tour. Your guide has been working bloody hard for you, and some of the things they've probably been doing is their admin skills, their emailing skills. They've been working on finances, they've been organizing everything behind the scenes, and that developing all of those skills really helped me grow, and it's been so worthwhile already for me as a person. But also I'm going to be able to take all those skills that I've learnt into my next job and into every other job in my life, because it really is so valuable. Another major part of growing professionally has been supply relations. So as a tour guide, you work alongside other businesses to help achieve everything you want to. So whether that's restaurants or a skydiving company or bars, you are interacting with people that you're working for to deliver the best product for your passengers, the people on your tours. And it can be really interesting. You have to adapt according to where you are, especially in a place like Europe, which is so diverse. So for example, working with a supplier in Italy is very different to working to a supplier in Germany, because the Germans are so easy to work with because they're so organized and prompt, whereas the Italians are just kind of, we'll just do it where we do it, you know? So it's really about developing those skills to work with alongside different people and suppliers as well. Being able to grow as a professional person as I'm so young has definitely been a highlight. One thing I just love about being a guide is that almost every day I'm waking up in an entirely new place, a new city, a new country, and that variety just keeps me excited, it keeps me energized, and having a different view outside of my hostel room or the apartment room just really puts a spring in my step, because I feel like I'm achieving things every single day by interacting with all these different places. And alongside that comes starting to feel like a local in what was a foreign place. So a city such as Barcelona I'd been to once before working as a tour guide and definitely felt simply like a tourist. And then last year I was in Barcelona every single week for one other reason or not. And just walking through those streets no longer started to feel like a foreign thing or that I'm a new person gazing at every single detail, but I started to really feel at home in that place because of how much time I've spent there, and starting to feel really immersed inside that culture rather than just passing on through like a regular tourist, which I want to add is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a tourist. Sometimes I think we should embrace it, actually. But it feels nice to feel more settled in once was a strange land. There is also a lot of pinch me moments which become highlights, like little things that just become your normal, you know, like, oh, I knock off in Amsterdam, so I'll just go for a walk through the canals and, you know, get a stroopwafel. Or, oh, I've knocked off in Berlin, so I'm going to go take some people and we'll go sit next to the cathedral and eat a kebab or a, you know, a currywurst. Just little things like that that start to become the norm and start to become, you know, what you do on a day-to-day life. And sometimes I just find myself stopping and being like, whoa, this is not what a regular knockoff would look like at any other job. So I was just grateful for that. You know, every single day is different, and that is probably one of the major highlights for me being a tour guide. Another big highlight for me is knowing that what I'm doing and how hard I'm working is appreciated by the people who are on my tours. So when I'm getting good feedback and good reviews, and knowing that I've made some little impact to make their, you know, Europe trip better, or their gap year better, or their 2-week holiday away from home better, it really does mean so much to me. And last but not least, getting paid is just a bonus. Sometimes I get paid and I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part of the job. Although living on a tour guide wage it's not a lot, let's put it that way, it is still very much a bonus to me that I got to get paid to do what I love, which is show people around incredible places and move through different cultures on the daily. Now, with every good thing comes some bad things, because that's life. It's not all butterflies and rainbows, and neither is being a tour guide and traveling every day. And when I think about the hardest things of the job, probably the main thing that pops into mind is just the pure exhaustion. You lose a lot of sleep because you're out with people until 1 a.m. and then you're up at 6 a.m. getting ready for the group again. Your diet gets thrown out the window, especially in Europe when there's tapas everywhere and amazing desserts and drinks handed to you. I really felt physically unfit and unhealthy when I was there, because there was also a lack of time. I couldn't prioritize exercise. I wasn't able to cook food as I went because there was not kitchens available and I was moving too fast. So I definitely felt that lack of good vitamins and nutrients in my body, alongside being able to like move my body intentionally, which is something that I love to do in regular everyday today life. So in conclusion, my health was a mess. And you talk to any other tour guide and they'll be able to probably say the same. So that was definitely one of the hardest things about working. Another downside to the job is that you get little time alone because it is so incredibly people orientated and you're with them 24/7. You are on 24/7. Like if they see you, they envision you as their guide at all times. So you are on, and I am definitely a introverted extrovert, so although I love people, it's where I get my energy from. I also need time to rest, be on my own, go for a walk, read a book, and that's pretty much non-existent unless you get a day off once in a blue moon. There is so much study and learning for what goes into being a guide. A big part of my job is talking to people about a place, and I don't just think that up magically. You know, I've learned it and I've spent a lot of time pouring into books. Google has become my best friend. I'm learning from the locals, and that's actually a highlight in some ways, is learning so much, but it also requires a lot of mental energy and brain capacity to be able to produce a good result as well. So it can get quite tiring at times. When you do work overseas, there's also a bit of a con in the sense that you don't just kind of do your regular thing when you're in your home country and you're automatically allowed to work and you pay your taxes easy. It's a bit different. There's a lot more logistics involved. I worked my ass off to get a visa and I had a few problems with it. I'll link that video down below as well, to be able to have the right to even work here in the first place. And don't even get me started on taxes. I'm still yet to figure all of that stuff out, and just being able to, you know, go through the world as an adult living overseas can get quite challenging, and can get me down as well, because I hate the fact that there's those barriers to be able to continue to do what I love, but it's just the world that we live in. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love living out of a backpack. I love the minimalist life. I realize that I don't need that many things. However, repacking every morning takes its toll. And let me tell you what, when I am staying somewhere for a week, the best thing about that is being able to put my toiletries in the shower and leave them there. Like, just little comforts where you get to leave things and have their home is something that you don't experience when you're a tour guide living on the road. So yeah, there were some mornings where I just sit on my backpack and almost want to cry, because you think, oh no, I just want to settle in again, but here I am going again. And once you're gone, it's great. You remember why you love to move around so much and be in new places, but just that process of repacking can be painful. Now, of course, not every tour goes to plan as well, and sometimes there can be accidents. Sometimes you're dealing with some challenges with particular passengers, and that can be really hard. It's not always a walk in the park. It does make you grow as a guide, that's for sure. But yeah, sometimes nights can go a bit crazy, and it can get, you realize, oh wait, yeah, this isn't all pretty, isn't it? So that can be a little bit of a challenge, is just dealing with those unexpected events that pop up. Lastly, probably the biggest lowlight of the job is simply being separated from your friends and family. And my friends and family mean so much to me. I wouldn't be anywhere without them, and not having them right next to my side can be really hard sometimes. You definitely do miss them and wish you were with them. But I'm also really lucky to have supportive friends and family and you guys, which is also amazing. But sometimes life on the road can get quite lonely as well, when you are missing out on things back home. So overall, there's a summary of what it's like to be a tour guide for the first season. And so there we go. There's an overview of my first season of being a tour guide, all the highlights and lowlights. As you can see, there are many of both, but overall it has been the most incredible experience of my entire life. There is nothing else like it. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do what I've done, and I wouldn't change any of it for the world, the good or the bad stuff. So stay tuned for all my upcoming videos. I'm going to be talking more travel tips and advice, and all my adventures I'm going on. So if you like this video, please like it so that it can get recommended to other people. I hope that you've enjoyed it, you've thought it was really interesting. Maybe you'll come on a tour with me someday or become a tour guide yourself. who knows, the world is your oyster. Have a brilliant day wherever you might be in the world. I'll see you next time on my channel.